Pounders, welcome back. We're going live on some Battle Royale NFL wildcard games for this week. Talk some strategy and hopefully take down another one. If we take down back-to-back, that would be almost nearly impossible, first off. But when you give yourself the best chance to win, there's always a chance. We have some sneaky plays, so I'd like to show some of those with you guys in this draft. We have a lot of high upside players that aren't being drafted outside of the top 36, ways to get different. So let's see how this draft goes. Not really recognizing any of these names. Thanks, Obama. We got some different names here. Best ball canceled. Missouri Mike, Steve, 91872, and Little Petey Boy. So let's see what we get fallen to us at the 5 spot. I honestly would love to get 2 of these receivers, whether it's Chase and Diggs or Jefferson Chase. That is, in my opinion, going to be the winning lineup. Whoever has 2 of these guys, they just really high upside for this week. I think it gives you a huge advantage. If you don't get one of the top 5 guys, it really starts to fall off. So recommendation, if you're going to go double running back, maybe bring it back with like a Kittle and then try to hit on receiver. Down here, not impossible, but if you're not getting at least Keenan Allen, try to get Kittle there. So we're going to get Chase in the 5 spot. If Diggs goes, we could always go Burrow, which I like this stack. I like this game. There's ways to bring it back with a Baltimore player late. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the Cincy stack here. Might have T. Higgins fallen back to us. People are letting him drop because he's sick. He was sick yesterday, so he drops three picks in ADP. Doesn't make any sense to me. He's back to practice today, fully practiced. So we got some good value on him yesterday, fallen to like 24, 25 in one draft. It's going to be an interesting week, though. We have some superstars at tight end and some defenses that are really weak against tight end this week. Schultz in Tampa Bay. Knox against Miami. Mark Andrews against Cincy. Good bring-back player for us in this Cincy game. And TJ Hawkinson, who put up 29 points in half-point PPR the last time he met with the Giants. Saquon Barkley falling to 14 right now. Falling to 15 right now. Wow. What a godly start. That is beautiful. Don't blow this draft, Steve. Do not blow this draft. This one is yours for the taking. That is an unbelievable start. Now, I will say it's probably not the only lineup that had that start, because Keenan Allen at the beginning of the week was going in that 17 range and sometimes falling to 20. So you'll have teams that started Barkley and Jefferson, getting Jefferson at 3 or 4, and Barkley's fall. I've seen him fall to like 9, 10 before, but not that far. And then getting Keenan Allen later. So you will see that. Let's get Godwin here. I have a lot of bring back plays with Mark Andrews. already, so I'm just sort of mixing it up with this lineup. We could do a J.K. Dobbins for some correlation in this Cincy-Baltimore game. And by the way, if you don't draft with a hoodie on, that's your first mistake. It's all about comfortability. And then draft process comes after, slightly after. So he's already got his tight end, doesn't have a QB here for football canceled. See where Missouri Mike goes. He has CMC, Kittle. This got to be a Purdy pick, right? Debo, Mike Evans. Oh my God. And he picks Kirk Cousins. He doesn't have a single pass catcher on Minnesota. How do you win first place with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback if you have none of the receivers? You need Kirk Cousins to rush for 2 touchdowns. We can go Gerald Everett here. We'll go DK. So we're not going to get a bring back player in this Baltimore squad. But we are going to get a mini stack between Travis Etienne and Gerald Everett. Nice little way to get different there. I definitely like this squad. And pretty much it's pretty standard. Etienne has a one-off playing against not playing against San Fran. I'm playing against the Chargers. High point total. It's going to be a 47.5 point total game. So a lot of points being scored in this game. I think Etienne has the chance to score the most points out of any of the receivers and running back there. Couple one-offs, but that's what it takes to win one of these. It's kind of like hitting a 6-man parlay to some extent. Now, correlation can raise your chances of winning, and you don't need to hit a 6-man parlay when you do that. But there's so many lineups going in that teams are getting so different. We're seeing last pick being Isaiah Hodgins, who's had, I think, the most targets on the team average since week 13 for the Giants. So he raised up the draft board very quickly as a sleeper pick. Tyler, the brain, the man, just jumped in. A fellow pounder sneaking in right before us at the 3 spot, knows most of our plays that we like to go, probably in the live stream right now. So we are not going to be queuing up our players. Sorry, Tyler. We're not making it easy on you. I wish you the best of luck. Shout out to Tyler. He threw out a YouTube short today with strep throat. That's dedication from a pounder right there. Steve must be grinding these away. Steve being in another one of our drafts. He did pass on Barkley. You can kind of expect him not to pick Barkley here, in my opinion. Just getting him at what? Pick 16. So it's tough to pick him at 5 or even 8 after you get him at 16. So we'll see. We'll see what he does in back-to-back drafts. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to pick him at 5 or 8. We'll see what he does. I would love to get him at 9, to be honest. Got to play mind games with Tyler. Tyler, where are we going? He's letting the clock run out. He goes Chase. We'll gladly take Jefferson in the 4 spot, and I'm just going to sit here and pray that we can get a Jefferson Barkley start. I have 2 teams with this start. I'd like to make it a 3rd. If it doesn't happen, I mean, this is sort of what I'm looking at here. Could even go Kittle. That's probably my favorite right there. Diggs, Kittle. Barkley, Diggs starts very. Wow, he snipes Burrow with Barkley. The fantasy gods. Just do like a CeeDee Lamb. Oh my God. Jefferson and Diggs. Jefferson and Diggs. All right, we have the keys to the kingdom right now. We're going to try to make this a Kirk Cousins type squad. We need Hawkinson and Kirk Cousins to make this interesting for me. If you really want to get different, could go Kirk Cousins and KJ Osborne. Yes, I said it. Risk it for the biscuit. Let's see who falls to us at running back as well. Get the bubbly out, you know? T. Higgins going to the team that does not have. Where's the team that has Joe Burrow? Okay. I think that's why this is so risky, picking Burrow here in the 7 spot after Chase has already been selected. There's a good chance that Higgins does not make it back to you. Now, are you going to go Hurst? Are you going to go Tyler Boyd? You have to go at least one of them in order to hit with Joe Burrow. He's not going to get there with his feet. Hawkinson goes and ETN goes. Definitely were my favorite 2 left. Let's go best available wide receiver for us. Tyler says, don't love this draft right now. He's in a tough room. Let's see what he has. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and ETN. How do you not like this squad? You can go Schultz, bring it back with a Dak if you think Dak's going to show up to a playoff game for once. You have Chase as a one-off, which I won with last week. So it's not bad. You can definitely find correlation here. You can go Kirk and Lawrence. Bring back tight end is Gerald Everett on the other side of the ball. You have options. A lot of options. A lot of options, my friend. We're on the clock here. Let's go Danny Dimes. The reason I'm going Danny Dimes instead of Kirk Cousins is I would want 2 pass catchers with the Kirk Cousins team. I would want 2 pass catchers. I think that's the easiest way to hit first place. I don't think you have a great chance of getting first place with Kirk Cousins and just 1 pass catcher. So we're going to go a one-off pick with Danny Dimes. Hawkinson already gone. Can't go KJ Osborne because we got Chris Godwin, who I think is going a little too late in these drafts. He's definitely one of my favorite value wide receivers, as well as DK Metcalf, who's not being drafted in some of these, which is crazy. It's mind-blowing. We could have went Tony Pollard as well for the mini, but not super thrilled about Tony Pollard this week against Tampa Bay. Also, there's rumors the injury might hinder him. You have Zeke taking carries within the 10-yard line. There's a lot. It's just a lot going on there. So we need a running back and a tight end. Kenneth Walker is someone who is an absolute legend at breaking tackles, even all the way from college. Against the number one run defense, though. That's the kicker. Jeff Wilson gets a full practice in. Raheem Mostert not seen again practicing on Thursday. These teams don't need a tight end. Dallas versus Tampa Bay. We're going to lock in Schultz here. We got a little mini stack with Chris Godwin and Schultes. I don't think anyone's going to select Jeff Wilson. Jay says, of course he's drafting. I should have known. He didn't answer his phone. What a sicko. We'll call you back after this. We're going to do probably one more after this. Just get 3 in tonight. We'll get another probably 3, 4 in tomorrow. Tomorrow. So it's just running backs here. So we're going to get another little mini stack in, which I like, and someone that's not being drafted a lot. Mini stack, mini stack, mini stack. So we actually got 3. That's some correlation right there. Didn't fully do that on purpose, but it's definitely in the back of my head at all times. How can I find correlation in these games? I like this squad a lot. Let's go over what the other teams are doing here. Tyler ends up with Jamar, CeeDee, Travis Etienne, Justin Herbert, Gerald Everett, and Fournette. Stock at CMC, Keenan Allen, TJ Hawk, Tony Pollard, Gabe Davis, and Dak Prescott with just Tony Pollard. It's thin. It's thin. Tyler, I probably would have loved the Palmer pick over Lenny here, especially with the Mike Williams news being down. Just something to think about. Palmer pick, I think, would have been super interesting. Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk. And for whatever reason, Underdog has a little glitch with the last pick not showing up. We had Justin Jefferson, Diggs, Godwin, Daniel Jones, Schultz, and Wilson. Steve has Eckler, George Kittle, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Tom Brady, and Lockett. It's interesting. I like it. Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Dalvin Cook, Mark Andrews, Debo, and DK. Got some high upside players at the end here. You have the mini with Andrews playing Cincy, but we have no correlation with Joe Burrow. If he ends up the number 1 QB on the week, isn't he going to bring 1 or 2 of his receivers with him? I mean, maybe Joe Mixon could be in there too as a pass-catching running back. Interesting. All right, let's do one more of these. Just realized you guys couldn't see the screen when I pulled it off there, when I pulled off the draft. That's something to note. This does not show. Interesting. Okay. Danny Deals. Name sounds familiar. So we're here in the 4 spot. I like the 4 spot a lot because you can get 2 of these receivers. You can go running back receiver. You can get the Joe Burrow stack with Chase, potentially Higgins on the way back with the 4 spot. It just kind of pairs up that way at 16. Higgins falling to 18 right now. And I like the double stack this week. Thin slate, less games. I think you're going to see a double stack sneak into first place, potentially with 2 tight ends. That's my prediction. I strongly believe a 2 tight end team can break the slate this week. Danny Deal's going Josh Allen first pick, followed by CMC. Nick P12. Are we auto drafting? Nope, we're not. We're picking Joe Burrow. All right. I'll take Justin Jefferson at the 4 spot every day of the week. He's our number 1 ranked wide receiver this week for Battle Royale. He's everyone else's number 1 receiver, and for good reason. I would love Barkley, and he goes. It's okay. Can we get Allen Diggs for a second time in a row? Swagman95. He drops the Diggs. I mean, we've been playing tight ends against Seattle all year, and we're not about to stop now. Ranked last against tight ends. So, George Kittle, welcome to the squad. I wouldn't mind doing a little TJ Hawkinson with Kirk, a little 2 tight end team. We'll see what falls to us on the way back. Also wouldn't mind getting one of these top running backs. So we'll see what falls to us. Joe Burrow and Keenan Allen, CMC and CeeDee Lamb. Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, and ETN. Definitely a different start. Still has Knox, still has Gabe that he can go for correlation with Josh Allen. Let's go, Rico. Come on. What do we want? And that might be an auto pick. Tyreek Hill at 14. Nick P going TJ Hawkinson. Let's select our number 1 wide receiver left on the slate. Still a little different than the last lineup. We can go Debo. We can go Ayuk. We can bring it back with Purdy. And then potentially Kenneth Walker. Let's see. Or we can just go best available wide receiver. Go Danny Dimes, who's the best QB one-off pick on the slate because he can get there on the ground. Also could have gone Mike Evans for the double stack with Tom Brady. Let's go T. Higgs here. This is basically just going to be a lineup that is no correlation, just basically a 6-man parlay. If Danny Dimes gets taken, that's when we're going to have to reach into the bag of tricks. Only one team really can take him behind us. So we'll definitely be selecting a QB here. CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and Christian Kirk. So again, this is like another it's another 4-man parlay, which you kind of expect from people that don't do these often. That's like not the typical thing to do. You don't want to make a lot of drafts that don't have a lot of correlation because your chances of hitting are all that much harder. So you want some sort of correlation here. So if he knew he was going to go Purdy with CMC, I would have loved to see this been Ayuk. So then he has at least a way of getting there. I don't think he has a way of getting there. Go Danny Dimes. A little correlation in this game. If Kenneth Walker falls, not my favorite running back on the slate. That's for sure. Against a tough San Fran defense, but the guy breaks tackles like no one else. So these guys can't select a running back, so we have no sweat at running back. Austin Eckler, Diggs, Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans. He goes Schultz. Curious what these guys are going to do for quarterbacks, especially now that the one-off, like there's not a lot of correlation with these teams. He brought in Gabe Davis here, which is good. I probably would have done Knox. Kirk Cousins goes to the team with no one else on Minnesota. Dude, you got to get in the live stream, man. We'll help you out. And just Schultz, no Lamb, no Pollard. We're going to go Kenneth Walker just for the correlation. Let's say they end up on the 1-yard line because of a nice Lockett catch or DK catch. And let's say it happens twice. Or he breaks for a long one, which is always possible. You get a little mini stack in this game. A little mini stack with Danny Dimes and Jefferson. And then 2 one-off plays, which is fine. Guys, we're going to bring it back with a couple more live drafts tomorrow. Appreciate you coming out. Drop a like on the video. Any questions you have down below on favorite stacks for this week, favorite one-offs. And I hope you guys enjoy and subscribe. Join the Pounders.